Hi everyone, it's Chris England. I'm continuing with a little streak that I've had, and so I'm going to go ahead and do my another summoning video. So this round is going to be the 5.5 anniversary summon. So it's going to be all of the summons from Hero Fest, as well as the summons from the weekly bonus banners, and then any other banners that come across through that method. I have one other one that I'm going to do, and that's going to be the Phantom Thief one, but I'm going to do that in a separate video so that way I can just split it up a little bit. So one thing I will go ahead and say is that if you have any questions, like some of the previous videos that I've had, feel free to leave them in the comments in general and just let me know what if you have any questions about Fae, if you have any questions about what I think about Fae or Fire Emblem in general. I'm always, of course, open to answering those questions. I do have one limit that I will note, and then I will be limiting my question answering to about one per every 5-star or 4-star focus or 4-star special. So anytime I get something that's like stand out in terms of what I want, that's going to be a question that I answer. But for that, without further ado, let's start the summoning. And we lead off with a plus res minus attack Malice. While she isn't one of the best units due to having attack speed push 4, she does come with Spurn and a odd but interesting weapon. So one of the questions that I probably ask myself in general would be, what are the top 3 most wanted alternative uses for crystals or shards, and how many per piece or how many per like pack? So a lot of people say that feathers are a very top want in terms of what it is, and I can see why. It takes a lot of feathers to it takes at anywhere between 17,000 to 20,000 max to get a 4-star up to a 5-star. And so that means that if you're going from base, you're spending about, in order to get one unit to plus 10, just flat out plus 10 from 4 stars, every single 4-star, you are required to spend, I believe, 220,000 feathers, since it's 20,000 times 11 copies. That personally for me is a little bit much, especially since even though there are ways to get a lot of feathers every single week from the arena, from getting hero merit, both of those are kind of finite sources. So realistically, it's also a lot harder for newer players to get used to that kind of thing. So having the option to change crystals and shards for feathers would be a good option. Probably from my perspective, I'd say for 1,000 feathers, a once a day exchange. Probably what I'd say is exchanging the same amount of colored shards. So maybe 1,000 colored shards or crystals, and then or maybe like it's 500 feathers for the shards, 1,000 feathers for the crystals, and then if you're using the universals, it's another. So you double the amounts that you charge yourself. So instead of paying the 1,000 shards, you're paying 2,000 for each end. Arena medals is another good choice for this one. And that is because it is getting very, very expensive, both in medals and dew, to upgrade PRFs. So in order to upgrade a PRF from scratch with that, so you have multiple units that have those weapon plus abilities, what you're going to have is a requirement of the 200 stones, since every time you do a basic refine, you get the stones turn into dew. So 4 times gets you that 200. And then you are required to get another 2,500 medals. It's 500 per time that you're refining. So 500 for each of the pluses, and then so that's 4 times, and then another 500 for the PRF. So if there was a way to get those faster, it would be nice. So maybe something like, I guess what I could say is like the weekly idea of doing the 1,000 shards for or 1,000 colored shards for 100 medals. And then if you do the crystals, you get an additional 10 dew. So it's not enough to upset it, but this would be like a once a day exchange that you could do. Orbs are kind of finally the last piece of mind, and this would be an idea for a different video, but I would think of creating a brand new type of orb, a color orb. So this would be, and I'll go over this in actually a separate video because I feel like it does deserve its own video, but I will go ahead and say maybe for about the same price of the 5,000 total shards or crystals, and this would not change based on it. You would get 5 colored orbs for the shards, and then 10 colored orbs for the crystals. But that's personally what I think. I'd like to hear other people's thoughts on this one. So on to the continuation of the summoning. And we continue our luck with a plus HP minus defense Flavia. So I do actually have a Flavia that is plus res minus HP. So this is another option. Sadly, she does come with attack speed push 4. Hopefully I do not continue this odd level of AS push luck. So another question that I think I want to answer is, what are my next top 3 choices for B skills? Since we did not get one in the Brave banner. And so some thoughts I had would be involving the breaker skills. So these are a lot of times tier 1 or year 1 skills, maybe year 2 if it came in late. But what they could do is they could reduce the HP requirement to maybe 25% or greater, change the guaranteed follow-up to a brave attack, so attacks twice, and then you continue on with that deny follow-up. The other option would be to just do a single chill tier 4. Same thing as what the chill defense res 3 on Duo Nina does. It's gonna just drop. It's gonna have the same effect. It's 2 space at any a specific foe with the highest stat, as well as foes within 2 spaces of that unit get I'd say -7 to that stat. And then dual dancings. I do definitely want to see some more dance skills. I want to see so it would be the 2 stats plus 5, and then a specific skill based on what it would be. So maybe something like a special cooldown for something that's like resistance or defense. If it's attack, it's like special cooldown -1 per attack. Just a bonus effect that adds to it, especially since this would be relegated to dancers only. But those are what I think. If anyone has any suggestions, please feel free to write them in the comments. attack, speed, push, luck continues. This time with an actual minus speed unit. Plus HP, minus speed, Sarah. Well, I mean, I didn't pull her. I only sparked for her originally, so I really can't say that that's a bad thing. It means that I merge her, and HP for her isn't the worst merge. So hopefully, once again, I am deeply hoping that this is not the continuation of the attack, speed, push, luck, or crap. So, one other thought I had about fallen banners. So, we've had plenty of these with final bosses, with units getting fallen forms that don't necessarily have fallen forms. Like Ike, we saw a Cypher version of him, but we never saw anything beyond that. So, one of the thoughts is, on my end, and this would be an actual kind of jab towards the community, would be fallen main characters. And this wouldn't be like fallen Celica or fallen Ninian kind of thing where they're possessed. This would be like tyrannical. So pretty much the entirety of the Fae community has done what's called Iron Man. So you let them die. And I think it was Excel Emblem that does runs where he kills pretty much every single character that he can, including like other units. But I always wonder, what's the end result? Marth winning against Medius, but looking back, he stands in front of a pile of corpses that are his friends, family, and his army. Or you could do the same thing with Eliwood, Lynn, Hector. You could do the same thing with Roy pretty easily. I mean, even Guinevere could probably fit under that category. You could do... Sigurd might be a little bit hard. Seliph would definitely be interesting. Leaf, definitely. I could maybe even see Nana for that one, too. But it would just be an interesting idea to kind of see the evolution of the main character no longer trusting the summoner. And this wouldn't be an evil version. This would be more like a cold, heartless version. Kind of like what Harden turned into. But this wouldn't be, again, this wouldn't be a possession by any means necessary. This would just be them stealing their heart to the losses that the player caused. Anyways, that's my interesting thought process. So on to the next set of videos. And so as we end the summoning session, we do end up getting two new units. We do get an Ascended Merida plus speed, but sadly I already have two of them, so this one will be fodder for something else. Vital Astra, Spurn, maybe something else from them, I don't personally know, and then a neutral Lilith base form. So this is actually a question that I will ask everyone at the end of the video instead of what I normally would do in these cases, which is just answer other questions. Do you think that IS is holding Fire Emblem Heroes back at all? And if they are, what do you think that they are? Is it a fixable thing, or is it just something that they did too much of and now is kind of hard to work with? But for this end, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.